Hey, soldiers, looks like there's been an escalation, a very serious escalation in the, how can I put this? Because YouTube is going to want to step all over this. In the ongoing events in Eastern Europe between Russia and another country with a yellow and blue flag. So I guess you know what I'm talking about by now. And again, YouTube hates these videos because they have an agenda. And unlike, maybe some people like Thomas Jefferson or, Martin Luther King Jr., Google doesn't think like them in terms of cherishing free speech. Okay, if you don't agree with the Google narrative, then they're going to try to quash what you're saying. So got to be smarter than the algorithm. So we'll see what happens with this video. Russia's Medvedev, remember Hillary Clinton had trouble saying that? And I said, now, if you're good enough to run for president and you can't say Medvedev, I guess I should be emperor of the universe because I can say Medvedev. Russia's Medvedev calls for elimination of Volodymyr Zelensky and his clique after drone attack. Now, we're going to get into this because this drone attack is on a head of state. That is what Russia is claiming. Now, when you get up into that rarefied air where you're trying to actually, not take pawns, bishops, or knights off the board, but you're going for the actual king, you're going directly for the king, it's a serious escalation in modern warfare. Now, I know, back in the day, they used to line up and the king was out there, right there on the battlefield. Remember Longshanks in Braveheart? Longshanks was right out there in the middle of the action, and, you got Julius Caesar, other noteworthy people throughout history, Shaka Zulu, you got Alexander the Great. Those days are over. Okay, our king, as it were, either the prime minister, the president, what have you, they don't do things like that anymore. So when you attack one of them, it's just verboten. Okay. In any event, there was a drone attack on the Kremlin, and the Kremlin, the Russians, are saying that. Guess what? They believe this was prosecuted by Zelensky. Guys, look, I tried, but it just didn't work. Go ahead, hit the thumbs up. One of the soldiers suggested that I leave that for later on in the video, or that the channel was doing well enough so that we didn't have to do it anymore. Listen, this is a little teeny tiny channel, okay? This isn't one of those channels that just gets likes on GP, okay? I have to encourage the people. So as the general of the soldiers of finance, go ahead, hit the thumbs up, help the algorithm to understand that this is content that you vote to see perpetuated throughout YouTube. Now, I want you to become a soldier of finance by simply enlisting. To do that, you hit subscribe. Let me know you subscribed in the comments, and I will salute you. Now, Zelensky is saying, look, man, I didn't do this, man. This is not us, okay? I don't know what happened. There are a few theories out there. We'll go over those in a minute. But Zelensky's saying, look, I didn't throw that punch, man. That wasn't me. Reminded me of, I had a boxing instructor who was a U.S. Marine Golden Glove champion at one point. This guy was good, okay? He never smiled, right? I was taking private boxing lessons. I love boxing. Not saying that I'm Sugar Ray Leonard. No, not by any stretch of the imagination. But I love it. If you want to go out there and get fit, really fit, start adopting a boxing regimen. You don't have to get in the ring. I love that. Maybe there's something wrong with me. But it'll drop weight and get you fit just like that. Anyway, I was in the ring sparring against my boxing instructor, the Golden Globe former Marine. Well, I guess you once a Marine, always a Marine. Anyway, man, we were going at it, and I got him. It was like the first time this had ever happened in years. I got him with a nice right hook, okay? Bam! Right here. I almost hit the button, and if I had of, he might have gone out. But guess what? He turned around, and he looked at me with a look that only a U.S. Marine, former Golden Glove boxing champion, could look at somebody with. And my first reaction was to say, I'm sorry. I literally said that, right? So we both bust out laughing. But his natural inclination was to turn around, and I thought I was going to die. Anyway, I think that's how Zelensky, I can empathize with Zelensky. I think that's how he feels right now. So Medvedev is coming out, and he's saying that they need to eliminate Ukrainian President Zelensky and his clique. That's a quote, okay? And remember, Medvedev is the former president of Russia, and he currently has a high-ranking position as deputy chairman of the Security Council. So he's like Putin's right-hand man, okay? They go back like babies and pacifiers. Essentially, Medvedev is calling for a decapitation strike of the government in Kyiv. As for Zelensky, he's vehemently denying his government was behind the attack, which Russia is asserting was an assassination attempt targeting Putin. All right, so I got my own theory as to who's really responsible. Now, I'm just going to take a few minutes here seconds really, to let you kind of marinate on it, and I'll be right back. So I do have some ideas that are bubbling around in my head. So I don't know who you think might have been responsible for it, but I've got, like I said, my ideas. Anyway, here is Volodymyr Zelensky doing the equivalent of what I did when I looked at my boxing coach and said, I'm sorry, threw up my gloves, I'm sorry. Here's the equivalent, the international equivalent from Volodymyr Zelensky.
We don't attack Putin or Moscow. We fight on our territory. We are defending our villages and cities. We don't have, enough weapon for this. That's why we don't use it anywhere. For us, that is the deficit. We can't spend it. And we didn't attack Putin. We leave it to tribunal.
Now, the U.S. has weighed in. Antony Blinken, Secretary of State, the paragon of honesty and virtue, came out and said, I can't in any way validate them. Speaking, of course, of Russia. He was at a preview of the 2023 World Press Freedom Index event, whatever. He went on to say, we simply don't know. Second, I would take anything coming out of the Kremlin with a very large shaker of salt, said the man who is being accused by the U.S. Senate of lying. Two Republican senators are demanding Secretary of State Antony Blinken turn over records related to his communications with Hunter Biden, alleging the top U.S. diplomat lied to Congress more than 2 years ago about his knowledge of Biden's association with a Ukrainian gas company. Okay, so I think we need to take whatever Antony Blinken says with a salt mine. He's definitely not one to be viewed with, as someone who is just pure as a wind-driven snow. He would have never achieved the heights that he has in his career if he were. Meanwhile, more interesting videos and closer-up videos showing the inbound drone attack on the Kremlin. The reaction of lawmakers in Russia's State Duma has been predictably hawkish. Also with prominent Russian MP Mikhail Sheremet reportedly saying, quote, it's time to launch a missile attack on Zelensky's residence. They want to, drop the bomb right on his house. So this is a serious escalation. Now, guys, look, let me drop this on you. Why do I think this happened? Well, Volodymyr Zelensky recently held a call with President Xi of China. Zelensky characterized that as a long and productive call. And China is trying to position itself as peacemaker in this, okay? I think this is the U.S. saying, let me slap the hand of Zelensky and show him who's boss. I really do think that that's what's going on here. Um, who knows? They remember Blinken is trying to suggest also that Russia did this. Okay, in the same way he came out and suggested that they blew up their own pipeline. Okay, so we're supposed to believe that Russia took out its pipeline, which was a source of revenue and leverage. Okay, yeah, makes a lot of sense. But most of America will believe in this garbage because these are the same people when Joe Biden can't remember where he was last week. Literally, he went to Ireland and then he couldn't remember he'd been to his ancestral homeland next week, and a child had to remind him. Uh, People thought it was funny. Ha 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 ha! Oh, he can't remember. Oh, yeah, he probably can't remember the nuclear codes that they give him every morning either. Okay, so do you find that funny? So, wanted to come at you with something a little different today. We got to branch out and look at these stories that are going on out here because there's a lot going on in the world. So, we're going to be covering it as only we can. Now, I want you to take a look at this video. AI, artificial intelligence, has already started replacing human beings. Yes. Are we and our labor obsolete? I really need you to check that out. All right, guys, I'll talk to you soon.